Off you go.
Right, so first things first, my name's Lewis Johnson, I'm 17 and I'm a creative media production student, and this is my pitch. The first thing I want to talk about is the name of my production. The name of my production is an Insight : Kickboxing, and I made this my title because going on to the next step, and colon, and I can...
That's just gone. That bit's just gone.
You can voice that bit. Why did you choose that as your name, Lewis?
Yeah, so I chose that as my name because it's just a basic, simple name, and it just basically, essentially just reflects what it's about. It's an insight, and it's about kickboxing, so I just wanted to keep my title simple and basic, but still give the information that it needs to give.
Going on to the next thing, the next part of the work, we have the task, and the task given was to create a piece of work which was about our chosen specialism. Mine was documentary / factual program, and this production had to appeal to 3 different age groups, which were 10 to 18, 30 to 40 and 50 to 60. So to start with, before I got involved in the idea or any form of pre-production or my proposal or anything like that, I needed to start with understanding the various different target audiences which I was chosen to look at, as every different target audience is going to have separate needs, different wants, and etc. The research showed me that each different age group obviously had their different wants, and the 10 to 18-year-olds are looking more at the editing, the fast pace. They need things to keep them interested. So I'm going to try and incorporate that. The 30 to 40-year-olds, I wanted to add in the health and physical benefits of kickboxing, and that's also aimed at the 50 to 60-year-olds. As I feel like if they were going to get into something like kickboxing, they want it to affect them mentally and physically and make them feel better. And that would be their main purpose of doing so. Also, to aim at the 10 to 18-year-olds, I'm also going to look at the competitive side to kickboxing to show that it's not necessarily about the violence, it's a competitive sport, and there's a lot of fun involved as well as just opposed to just the violence and the fighting side of things. I carried out various different surveys for my primary research to help me find out, like I said, the various different things that the people want. And the things that the people wanted the most was things like the content itself, opposed to just the editing. Like, of course you need good editing to make the content look good, but the content's got to be there and it's got to be sufficient enough in the first place. Another way in which I'm going to appeal to the older target audience, such as 30 to 40 and 50 to 60, is to talk about the discipline and the respect and the other aspects opposed to just the fighting. When looking at other similar products, I don't feel like there are other products which are going to be similar to mine. For example, I find other martial arts related programs such as Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan, but they're more films and focused on the fighting and stuff like that, whereas my production is mainly looking at kickboxing and the various different aspects and just the different elements which come along with it. And I feel like this documentary will just be something that hasn't really been seen before. So my actual idea itself is to create, like I said before, a factual program / documentary which just is a real insight into kickboxing, and I want this program to cover a variety of topics within kickboxing, such as the history, which is another way in which I feel I can relate to the older target audiences, because they all have past generations and I feel like they could relate to that. I want to involve a professional style interview in which I want to add in, which will be with someone who's heavily involved within kickboxing, to show an insight into someone who has actually taken part. I want to include, like I said before, the health and mental benefits and what you're going to get from kickboxing. And I also want to show the competitive side. I feel like my production will appeal to a variety of different age groups, as I've added in different elements to appeal to each age group. Like I said, the history, the competitive side, the benefits, the discipline, the respect. When it comes to airing my production, I feel like the best platform for this would be YouTube. And I didn't choose this because I feel like it was the only option, but I feel like this is the best option because when I carried out my survey, I found that the majority of people who actually took my survey were around my age group. So I feel like essentially the people who will be watching my production will be around that age group, and the majority of people who use YouTube are around that target audience. However, YouTube can easily be accessed by 30 to 40 year olds, 50 to 60 year olds, and it's quite easily accessible to anyone with the internet. So I feel like this will be the best platform to get out my message and just for my production to be seen. And last but not least, does anyone have any questions?
Your voice is so soothing. I'm sorry, question, but
Hey, do any of you guys have a question?
Nah.
No? Okay, so what presenting style are you going to use for your document?
So I'm not gonna have myself seen in the production because when I've carried out my survey, the majority of people said that they only want the voice heard. So like David Attenborough sort of style where he's like Planet Earth where he's not in it but you can hear his voice. So
Okay. Who are you going to interview in it?
it'll either be someone who's in my class who's a higher grade or like my kickboxing instructor or someone that's involved does a lot with the kickboxing scene.
Okay. Whereabouts are you going to be recording it?
During lesson time, man, I'm gonna try and also get some because I was gonna try and go to a competition and get some footage and stuff, but if it's all during for Friday, then I probably won't have time. So I'll probably get some pre-recorded footage of recent competitions and add that in.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.